So I agree with Michelle Bachmann on many things, and I agree with Michelle Bachmann on the threat that we face. But we better wake up, America, to the threat that we face from our own government storing and collecting data. Now, the guy who said we should defund the NSA, one of the big supporters in Congress, is Justin Amash. And Justin, I don't believe, or Congressman, I don't believe that we have ever met, have we?
I think we've been in a room together, but we haven't really formally met.
Well, what we're going to have to do is we're probably going to have the NSA check our geo-tracking and see if we've ever been in a room together.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
You bet. Why, first of all, I want to look at this two ways. It failed, but if I would have suggested that we were going to vote on defunding the NSA at this time in our history, I would have said you would only get 20 people to vote on it in Congress, and they all would have been crackpots. First of all, congratulations on getting 208
205.
205 congressmen to support this, which is stunning. But why did the Republicans fall away from this?
Well, there was a lot of pushback from leadership, a lot of pushback from former attorney generals, and we had Keith Alexander come in. We had a lot of forces against us. They normally wouldn't have had a vote like this ever come to the floor. So we really had to force their hand and get a vote like this. And at the end of the day, we still got a remarkable number of Republicans voting yes, 94 Republicans. You would not have seen anywhere close to that maybe 5 or 10 years ago.
Okay, so all of the crazy people that I think are crazy voted for this as well. The Keith Ellisons of the world, the Charlie Rangel of the world, they all voted for, all the real lefties voted for this. Why were they voting for it? Do you know?
Well, they were concerned about the privacy implications of what's going on as well. I think you have a growing alliance in the House between Republicans who are more libertarian-leaning, and that's a lot of the newer members, frankly, who are concerned about a government that is becoming too powerful in all areas of our life. For many years, Republicans were concerned about the economic effects of big government, and now we're starting to be concerned about the civil liberties effects, and that's starting to permeate the party.
Can I ask you, Congressman, for a favor?
Sure.
And please know that I ask you as I'm blaming this on me, not on you. But when there is a vote coming up like this, let us know in advance, because
I don't think anybody had heard of this.
We would have supported this crazy, crazy. How long has this been in the works, and how did we miss it?
Well, we knew it was coming up. I tried to get the word out, but for a while, our office and maybe a few other offices were the only ones who were really talking about this. I told my staff maybe a month ago to be ready for the DoD appropriations bill, the Department of Defense appropriations bill, because the NSA is funded under the Department of Defense. So we've been preparing, but we didn't want to, show our hand at the time. And we wanted to be ready with good language before we started the whole debate. At the end of the day, we pushed hard to try to get the word out, but a lot of the mainstream media, so-called mainstream media, doesn't cover this stuff. Okay, well, would you do me a favor? I'm going to put you on hold when we're finished, and I want to make sure that you have my direct email address and everything else. We will cover these things. I am gravely concerned. Do you think it's an overstatement when I say if we would fall into the hands of a dictator, and I'm not calling the president a dictator, I'm talking about future, the next president, the president after, with this kind of technology and this kind of power, is it an overstatement to say that if we ever fell into the hands of evil, that this country would make the Nazi regime look like rookies? Well, the government certainly has more information about us than any other government in history, and that's extremely dangerous and something I'm concerned about. And it's the reason we have a Constitution in place. That's the reason we have the Fourth Amendment. That's the reason we have the entire Bill of Rights, to keep this government from becoming too powerful and overwhelming the people. And it's not about who's in charge right now. It's about who might take power down the road and what they might do with that power.
They would argue, well, you know what? The problem here is that you're talking about, who down the road. Well, what about the threats that are currently going on? You defund the NSA, and how do we even find out any of the bad guys? You're going to get us all killed, Congressman.
Well, that's the tactic they use. I said that last night during the debate. They always resort to fear tactics. But you said it well before I was on that you can't have risk-free liberty. If you're going to live in a free society, there are going to be some risks in your life. And they could have a total police state and eliminate all the risks, but they're going to be tracking you and putting chips on you and putting cameras in your home. And we don't want to get down to that point. So let's protect our freedoms here in this country.
Congressman, we're hearing about some sort of phone record thing that was attached to this amendment that it might make phone records public domain or change their status right now from being private to not so private. Is there any truth to that? Was there something like that in this?
No, nothing connected to my amendment.
Okay. So this was purely those Republicans that we respect so much, and there were quite a few that voted against this. We're voting against it purely based on the fact that they want the NSA to continue what they're doing.
Congressman, I know that you have to run. You're going to be on tonight with me at 5 o'clock. I would like you to answer one question at 5 o'clock, and that is this question. Many people say, what difference does it make if they're recording all my phone calls? Nobody's listening to them, but recording my phone calls and storing them. They're recording my emails and storing them. I'm not doing anything wrong. What difference does it make to me? Could you answer that question at 5 o'clock today?
Yeah, absolutely.
Give us, arm the American people with a great response for that, because that's what everybody always says. Common sense goes out the window. I'm not doing anything wrong. Arm us with the right answer.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Congressman, I appreciate it. We'll talk to you at 5 o'clock on the